The Venturi Atlantique 300 is one of the most underrated European sports cars of the 1990s, and a symbol of the ambition of the small French brand. The Venturi story began in the mid-1980s, when a company was founded under the name MVS to create stylish, sporty Grand Tours. From the outset, the goal was to combine performance, comfort, and individuality, attributes more associated with Italy or Great Britain than France. In the early years, the company experimented with prototypes using Volkswagen and Renault engines, researching the market and building its technical base. Over time, MVS was renamed Venturi, a shorter, more prestigious, and easier to remember name. The Atlantique 300 became one of the key models in the brand's history, an attempt to solidify its position in the premium sports coupe segment. By the early 1990s, Venturi was already a recognizable brand in the automotive world. A change of ownership and a bold strategy led the company to engage in motorsport on a scale unprecedented for its size. A branded gentleman's racing cup was created. Venturi entered Formula One with Lamborghini engines, and even tried its hand at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. All this built prestige, but it also strained the company's budget as it sold only a few dozen cars a year. To survive, it needed a marketable car, a model that would attract customers dreaming of an alternative to the Porsche 911 or Ferrari 348. The Atlantique 300, a fresh addition to Venturi's lineup, was destined to fulfill this role. The Atlantique designation was nothing new to the Venturi lineup. The Atlantique 260 model was already offered in the early 1990s, a sports coupe powered by a turbocharged 2.8-liter V6 engine producing around 260 HP. This car cemented the brand's reputation as a manufacturer of technologically refined, yet still niche, sports cars. Only a few years later did Venturi decide to thoroughly modernize the concept, creating the Atlantique 300. The new model was based on a modernized, proprietary platform and featured a completely redesigned body. It was more rounded, modern, and clearly indicative of the era's best designs, while retaining its own distinct French character. The Atlantique 300 was intended to be more mature, faster, and more competitive than its predecessor. The Venturi Atlantique 300's bodywork clearly indicated the French company's intended competition. Its coupe silhouette evoked the Porsche 911, Honda NSX, Ferrari 348, and Lotus Esprit, cars that defined the mid-size sports car segment in the 1990s. Distinctive retractable headlights, side air intakes, and a low roofline gave the Atlantique a muscular yet elegant appearance. The car didn't scream aggression, but exuded refined form and proportions that stood the test of time. The styling was a compromise between functionality and aesthetics. The intakes and embossing had a technical justification, stemming from the central engine placement and cooling requirements. The Atlantique 300 presented itself as a legitimate rival to established brands, not merely an exotic curiosity. A key element of the Atlantique 300's design was its mid-mounted engine, located directly behind the driver and passenger. Venturi drew on the proven V6 engine, displacing nearly 3 liters, used by Peugeot, Renault, and Volvo. This unit, known from the Renault Alpine A610, featured 2 valves per cylinder and a turbocharger. Maximum power was 285 HP at 5,300 RPM, with an impressive 420 nanometers of torque, available from just 2,500 RPM. The engine was paired with a 5-speed manual gearbox, sending drive exclusively to the rear wheels. This arrangement guaranteed a sporty driving experience and excellent performance, while the engine's central location favored favorable weight distribution and handling. Weighing around 1.5 tons, the Venturi Atlantique 300 wasn't an extremely light car, but thanks to its high torque, it could effectively compete with its rivals. The 0-100 km/h sprint took around 5 seconds, and its top speed reached 280 km/h. These figures were fully comparable to a 993 generation Porsche 911 or a Ferrari 348. The turbocharged engine's characteristics favored dynamic driving on public roads, offering a solid reserve of power even at mid-range. The Atlantique 300 wasn't a high-performance beast built solely for the track, but a thoroughbred grand tourer with a sporty edge, capable of both fast highway cruising and enjoyable twisties. To expand its customer base, Venturi also introduced a less powerful, naturally aspirated version, the Atlantique. This version featured a 2.9-liter V6 with 4 valves per cylinder, generating approximately 210 HP and 280 Nm of torque. The engine was paired with a 4-speed automatic transmission, which significantly changed the car's character. Acceleration to 100 km/h, 62 mph, took less than 8 seconds, placing this variant closer to a comfortable GT than an uncompromising sports car. This was an option for customers who appreciated the style and exoticism of the Venturi brand, but didn't necessarily require maximum performance. This version also reduced the purchase price, making the Atlantique more accessible. 1998 brought the final significant upgrade to the Atlantique 300. Priced at around 550,000 French francs, the car received a twin-turbocharged engine. This increased power to 310 HP, improving both performance and engine flexibility. Venturi, as usual, also developed a track-oriented version based on the road-going coupe. The racing version boasted power in excess of 400 HP and was used in GT competitions, continuing the brand's sporting tradition. The upgraded was an attempt to maintain the model's competitiveness in the face of increasingly powerful rivals, but it was not enough to solve the manufacturer's mounting financial problems. Production of the Venturi Atlantique continued until 2000, when the company found itself on the verge of bankruptcy. A total of fewer than 700 units of all Atlantique versions were produced, making it a rare and sought-after model among collectors today. The small scale of production, high development costs, and enormous motorsport expenditures proved too much for the small manufacturer. Despite its undeniable technical and stylistic advantages, the Atlantique 300 failed to become Venturi's financial savior. However, it remains a testament to the courage and ambition of the French brand, which was unafraid to challenge the biggest players in its segment. After changing owners and moving its headquarters to Monaco, Venturi completely changed its direction. The company abandoned combustion cars and focused on electromobility, building city vehicles, commercial vehicles, racing vehicles, and record-breaking electric vehicles. The Atlantique 300 thus remained one of the last classic combustion-engined coupes in the brand's history. Today, it stands as a compelling reminder of a time when small European companies could still dream of competing with giants, driven by passion, engineering ambition, and a touch of madness. The Venturi Atlantique 300 is not just a car, but also a symbol of the unfulfilled potential of French sports cars in the 1990s.